Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ysabella Brave, and tonight's topic for discussion is envy and jealousy. Now, I realized, to get this out of the way in the beginning, that there is a philosophical definition of these words, jealousy being the fear of losing what one already owns, and envy being the desire to possess what one does not. However, the true dictionary definitions of the words are interchangeable, so I'll be using them as synonyms in this video. Now, I've been as envious and jealous as I'm sure anyone has been in their lives, and I think there are 4 important things to remember or to know if one does not already about them. The first one is that envy is a narrow and ungrateful view. And I remembered thinking about this topic because so many people have asked about it over the last couple of weeks that I've been thinking about what I ought to say on it. I used to have a girlfriend when I was in grade school who had every doll, every dress, every shoe, every playhouse, everything, all of these dolls. Now, I had a few myself, of course, but oh, was I so envious of all of her dolls. And it got to the point where I didn't even enjoy playing with her and her dolls anymore because I was so envious. And I was so grouchy one day I finally blurted out, "It must be nice to have all of these dolls." And she didn't miss a beat and said to me, "It must be nice to have both of your parents." I didn't say anything else, and we kept playing with the dolls. And I realized, even at that young age, I was very ungrateful and took it for granted that I had something to be envious of and something as grand as having both of your parents together that you could see all of the time and not have the misery of a divorce and what that can cause. And she didn't realize what her dolls may have meant to anyone because she could see that I had something she wanted. Now, when I realized that, if I had to make a choice, I certainly would have chosen to have my parents be together. And this really lowered me down a peg and humbled me to realize that I should not have been so narrow-minded to think that I didn't have something of great value myself, and to be ungrateful about it. So that changed everything. Another point is that envy is often without hope, and hope is so important. I remember I was working at a store in retail for years, 3.5 maybe, and I lost my job. And I was devastated, frustrated, disappointed. Something was wrong with that. I really didn't like that had happened to me. And I didn't have much hope about the situation. And I was envious of people who'd kept their job, envious of people who had a job. And I was very grouchy and sad and hopeless about it. When one day, on a lark, a friend helped me to sign up as a secretary application for this computer place, and I ended up getting the job despite my not having a degree at the time. And that eventually, amazingly, turned into my job at Yahoo in fraud prevention. And I started out as the front desk girl. Had I still been working at that retail job and not been let go, I guarantee I would still be working there today, and now I have a much nicer job that I wouldn't have gotten had that not been taken away somehow. So remember that good things may be coming to you that you can't even imagine. So be careful being jealous, because what may be coming to you may be even better than what you think you wish you want. Did that get through? I hope so. Another one is envy no one. And we often see people we think have it so easy or have so much stuff. I know growing up I was not the wealthiest child, still not, and I often was jealous of people with stuff and with money and they seemed to have an easier time. Or the letters I've gotten saying, well, you think you're so great because you look nice. Well, as far as attractiveness goes, I've gone the past 27 years or thereabouts, less than that, hearing you're ugly and you're beautiful, on and off, the whole time, still today. So I've heard people say you're ugly and that makes you worthless, and I've heard people say you're gorgeous and that makes you worthless. So really, that stuff just becomes a matter of everyone's point of view and can be good or bad. So try not to be envious of what you consider to be attractive looks on people. As far as everything seeming easy, I had a wonderful friend who was a model. He had all kinds of rich and fancy friends, and he had lots and lots of money. And life really was that great for him. There wasn't much bad going on. And then one day, he got into a horrible motorcycle accident, and he lost his arm. He was in so much pain, even when I met him, and this was sometime after the accident, that he had to have a battery to produce power for his pain reliever installed into his stomach, which jutted out under the skin, and he was still in constant pain. He lost his arm, and he was still a very young man. Well, all of his friends left him, his modeling career was ruined, and he was alone, pretty broke, and in a lot of pain. And he said, "I'm so grateful that it happened." And I didn't believe him, but he said, "I found out who my real friends were, and how to make real friends, how to be grateful and appreciate things. The sun was never so bright, the rain was never so wet." He said it was like seeing in color for the first time. Anyhow, I'm glad that he feels that way about it. However, if someone had been jealous or envious of this man, it would have seemed righteous at the time, because things really were so easy and wonderful for him. But would they have changed places with him, knowing what was about to happen? I don't think so. That's a good lesson to remember, to envy no one. And finally, don't be saddened by other people's envy and jealousy. You must remember that all of us have been envious and jealous, and it's because of our own shortcomings, not theirs. So while you may have pity on another and feel bad that they're suffering in the way of being envious or jealous of you if you discover that's what's going on, try not to get too upset with them because you've been there yourself. So, in the meantime, continue to be good and do the right thing, and hopefully good things will come to you because of it. And hopefully if they don't, you will still continue to be good and do the right thing. I'll see you next time. I hope this has touched whoever it's supposed to touch, and good night.